Ranga Gandharvika Giridhari Radhika Raman Radhika Krishavanamali Giriju Ki Jai Ho.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Jana Ballava Giranadhari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Jana Ballava Giranadhari.
Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana.
Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Nira Panachari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Tira Banachari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Ho. Om Agana Timirandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chakshu Udmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namo Mahavandanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaura Devashe Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. First of all, I'd like to offer my heartfelt Puspanjali to the lotus feet of my Harinam Diksha Guru, my everything, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, my Srila Prabhupada, our Srila Prabhupada. Second of all, to my Bhajan Shiksha Guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Guru Dev, to Bhakti Vigan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to our entire Guru Parampara, especially to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and his Madhurya Kadambini. And today is also a very special day. Today is a disappearance day of a very amazing Vaishnava named Govinda Ghosh Thakur. And I wanted to speak a little bit about him. It's his disappearance day, and he had two brothers, Madhava Ghosh and Vasu Ghosh. And they were born at the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nitai, Gaur. They were personal associates. They're in the tree of Mahaprabhu and Nitai, the Chaitanya tree and the Nityananda tree. They were born in an upper class Kayasta family, which is kind of like a government. They usually worked in government as officials, but these three brothers were extremely expert in kirtan. They were famous for their sweet kirtans. And it says in the Radhakrishna Ganadesha Deepika that they were in Braj Lila, they were three Sakis named Kalavati, Rasulas, and Gunatunga, and that they sang expertly the songs written by Vishaka Devi. They were part of the singing group of Vishaka. So very, very special. And now in Chaitanya Lila, they went to Puri. Well, first in Navadvip, Govinda Ghosh and probably his other two brothers, it didn't say, but Govinda Ghosh, he took part in the kirtans in Srila Sangha. He took part in the Mahasankirtan party going to John Kasi. He took part in kirtans in Raghava Pandit's house. And it said whenever the three brothers would sing, Nityananda would dance, Mahaprabhu would dance. They loved their kirtans. And so, and when Mahaprabhu, when they went to Puri, Mahaprabhu sent Nitai, as you know, back to Bengal, to Navadvip. He made Navadvip Nitai's. Nitai was the proprietor of Navadvip. So when he went back, some devotees went with him, and Vasu Ghosh and Madhava Ghosh went with Nitai, and they were especially close to Nitai. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Govinda Ghosh to stay in Puri with him. And during the Rath Yatra, if you know, there were 7 kirtan parties, right? 4 in the front of Jagannath, 2 on the side, and 1 in the back. So one of those kirtan parties was led by Govinda Ghosh. And part of the party was his other 2 brothers, and also Raghava Pandit was part of that group, Chota Haridas, and I think someone named Vishnu Das. And the dancer was Vakreshwar Pandit. That was that group. And so they were especially known for these sweet kirtans. And after Mahaprabhu left, then these brothers, Govinda went back to Navadvip side. And he resided in, Mahaprabhu asked him to marry. He actually asked him to marry. So he married, and he lived in a place called Agar Dweep, or near Agar Dweep, which is between Navadvip and Katwa. They say like 1 railway station away, very close there. And by the inspiration of Mahaprabhu, this Govinda Ghosh, he manifested an amazingly, because I've seen pictures of a beautiful Gopinath deity from a black stone. He manifested this deity. And he was serving this deity. And he had a son. But the son passed on, and they say the mother of the son, his wife, also passed on fairly early in life. And so Govinda Ghosh had such an intimate relationship with Gopinath. This is amazing. After his son left, he stopped serving Gopinath. And so Gopinath appeared to him and said, well, why have you stopped serving me? And Gopinath said to him, well, my son has passed on, and when I pass on, there's going to be no one to serve you because my brothers are far away, I don't have a son, so there won't be anyone to serve, so I might as well stop now. He said, I'm stopping to serve you, and there won't be anyone to do my Shrud ceremony. So what happened? Gopinath personally said to him, well, why don't you accept me as your son? And so from that day on, Gopinath personally became Govinda Ghosh's son, eternally. And after Govinda Ghosh passed, he actually did the Shraddha ceremony like this. And every year, and it's been over 345 years since he passed, something like this, Gopinath, they have a huge festival in this Agar Dweep, or somewhere near there, and the Gopinath deity does the Shraddha ceremony for Govinda Ghosh every year. He's a beautiful deity, beautiful, beautiful deity. And they have a big mela there for Govinda Ghosh. So, Govinda Ghosh, ki jai. Very amazing. Kirtan. Kirtan is the most important yajna in this age of Kali. So he was the expert, topmost expert in Kirtan. So we pray to his lotus feet that he can manifest the kind of intimate relationship he had with Gopinath, and the faith that he had in Gopinath, that intimate, loving relationship like this. That he controlled Gopinath. See, Prem controls Krishna. Nothing can control Krishna but Prem. So Gopinath was so pleased with him that he said, oh, I will be your son, like this. How amazing. Because for us, we maybe don't want Gopinath to be our son. But we're praying to Gopinath that he can make us so qualified that his beloved Srimati Radhika will accept us as her maidservant, like this. Hey, Gopinath, please, please, please. Show your mercy so that Srimati Radhika will accept us in her inner group. What is it called? It's called Praneshwari Prestagan. Very beautiful, very beautiful. So now back to the third shower of Madhurya Kadambini. Last week we had a class that about the blasphemy of the Vedic literatures. And so today we're going on to Aparad number 5. And this is to think that the Vedic literatures are an exaggeration, which is, actually we don't realize it, us as devotees, especially us, myself at least, because with Prabhupada we just, whatever Prabhupada said, that is the absolute truth. That's it. And Prabhupada said we accept the Guru Parampara, that's it. We never thought about this kind of thing. But I imagine after Prabhupada left, maybe even some devotees might have, it's due to association. If we don't have association with high-class sadhus who actually are completely devoted to chanting the pure holy name, who have actually realized the absolute truth, if we fall into some other kind of association, either devotees who don't have full faith or into non-devotees who have no faith, then this aparad can come. And if one hasn't been a devotee, if one isn't a devotee, then it can come. And what is it? This kind of a person, he actually thinks that the great sages and I said that this was exaggeration, right? Because I get that. Oh, not okay. Yeah, it's that the great sages. My mind kind of went blank there for a minute. The great sages, they have simply glorified the holy name so extravagantly, just to arouse interest in the public, that the holy name really isn't this great. They're just doing it so that others will become interested in the holy name. This is a great offense, actually, because the glories of the holy name that are given in the Shastra and by the great sages, in the purport, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur himself says, they're not even a tiny drop in the ocean of the actual glories of the holy name. It's like a firefly before the sun. No one can actually properly glorify the holy name. It's not possible. So to think that the great sages in the scriptures are just glorifying so nicely and so beautifully and so, what's the word? So, Hare Krishna. Powerfully, that's the word I'm looking for, powerfully, the holy name. To think that it's just to get some interest in the public so that they'll chant, this means they have never had any good association, or if they did, they've certainly forgot that association. And if you think about it, the holy name, why is it that you cannot fully glorify the holy name? Because the holy name is the absolute truth. The holy name is Radha and Krishna. If you want to put it in very, in terms of, worldwide, international, universal, you could say God. God, Bhagavan, Allah, like this, but it's, who is God? Who is Allah? Who is Bhagavan? Ultimately, Krishna. And ultimately, Radha and Krishna. And so how can one actually sufficiently glorify Radha and Krishna? It's not possible. Why? Because their glories are ever fresh. Their glories are ever expanding. There's no end to the unlimited glories of Radha and Krishna. of God, of Bhagavan. It says that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, in his great humility, he's saying that I have just touched a drop in one day of the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is, of course, Radha and Krishna combined. This is the great scholar, the great poet, the great topmost devotee, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami himself, who wrote the masterpiece, Chaitanya Charitamrita. He's saying the same thing. Even Ananta Sesh, with his unlimited mouths, cannot even begin to touch the glories, which is speak of the unlimited pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not possible. They are the ocean, the unlimited ocean of compassion. You could spend unlimited time just talking about their unlimited compassion. What to speak of their unlimited beauty. What to speak of their unlimited strength, power, knowledge, renunciation, so many qualities. They're singing. You could go unlimited pastimes. I'll say one beautiful pastime. And this is just a drop in the glories of Bhagavan. So during the Rasa Leela, Radha and Krishna, Srimati Radharani is dancing. So when she dances, her bangles are dancing and making some sweet sound. Her ankle bells are dancing and making sweet sound. And she's singing, right? And Krishna is, as Srila Narayana Maharaj would say, fluting. He's fluting and playing. And the ankle bells and his fluting are in the same tune. It's like a duet, right? They're having it going on. And so she's dancing more and he's fluting more. And everyone is completely captivated. And this is ever fresh going on. We could speak about, I'm not a singer, but you could speak about these glories unlimitedly. So then what happens? Srimati Radharani, all of a sudden, one of her ankle bells, the string breaks and it falls off. And so she stops dancing, she stops singing, Krishna stops fluting. Oh dear, the rasa dance has stopped. So what happens? Then one of her little maidservants, her kinkari, says, oh, now it's time for seva, right? So she dances in and she's looking for the ankle bell. But so is Krishna. Krishna's also coming because he doesn't want Radharani to stop dancing and singing. And the Manjari understands that even though she wants to put the ankle bell on the ankle of Srimati Radhika, she understands that actually Radharani would like Krishna to do it. So she allows Krishna to take the ankle and put it back on the ankle of Srimati Radhika. So once again, Srimati Radharani is dancing, her ankle bells are dancing and singing, and Krishna is dancing and singing. No, he's not dancing, he's fluting. Fluting, as we say. He's fluting. And the Rasa Leela goes on unlimitedly. If you just think about this Rasa Leela. We could just glorify the Rasa Leela. I mean, we cannot. It's eternally taking place for an unlimited time of, day of Brahma? Night of Brahma. We can't even, as human beings, we can't even conceive how long that is. All these nights are compressed into one night. One night. And this is just one. Rasa Leela is eternally going on. This is the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I'll tell you another one. This is beautiful. This is from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who we're studying here. From his Tika to the 10th canto, it's in when Uddhava comes in and delivers a message of Krishna to the gopis when they're in separation, right? When in Uddhav Kyari, and they're dying in separation. At first he gives the gopis a message about Gyan, and they say, well, we're not interested in this. But actually, there were many messages, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains, but they weren't all given in the Bhagavatam. So he explains that one message he gave, and I'll rephrase it, was, oh, my dear gopis, you're my life and soul. My life and soul. I cannot bear to live without you. And you're suffering so much. So just do one thing. remember when the cowherd boys, they were suffering from the forest fire? And I told them to shut their eyes. And then and then when they opened their eyes, they were completely safe because I had drank up the forest fire. So now I'm asking you, please close your eyes. And Uddhava is watching the gopis as he's reading. So then the gopis close their eyes. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains what happens. Krishna at that time, he personally comes. Of course, Uddhava can't see, but the gopis. And in that few seconds or minutes, he comes and he condenses eternal time. And he has all the leelas with the gopis. All of them. Swing pastimes, water pastime, rasa leela. And Uddhava can see by the expressions on their face that he is not experiencing. And just that, but for them, it's that eternal time. They've stepped into that eternal time that goes on and on and on. So they're having all the leelas with Krishna in those few seconds. Because it's Vrindavan too. Vrindavan expands. Time expands. Everything, the leelas expand. And then Uddhava, he says, open your eyes. This is actually in the Bhagavatam. And it says the gopis were satisfied. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, how could they be satisfied if, you see, if they hadn't had some special mercy from Krishna? This is one drop. This particular passage, one drop in the glories of the holy name. The holy name. Because the holy name has descended of its own accord, but also by the desire of Radha and Krishna, by the desire of Mahaprabhu, especially in Kali Yuga, right? Harinam, Harinam, Harinam. There's no other way, no other way, no other way to conquer Maya. No other way. And if the holy name, by us chanting, if we've received the holy name in the proper way, and we're under the guidance of proper Guru, Vaishnavas like this, that spiritual, that Radha and Krishna in the form of Nam is so powerful, can conquer Maya. Wow, how is that, These people that think this is an exaggeration, this is a grave offense. They will never get a taste for chanting, ever, even if they're so-called devotees. We see this in the pastime of Raghunath Das Goswami, and what was his name? Chakravarti. What was his name? Gopal Chakravarti, I think it was. Raghunath Das Goswami was glorifying Harinam in the assembly of his father. And there was one person there, I think he was the treasurer, he was something to do with money in the assembly of Raghunath Das Goswami's father. And he was in the assembly, but he was actually an impersonalist. And so when Raghunath Das Goswami was glorifying the holy name, he said that even Namabhas, one can attain liberation. This person became very upset because he said, how is that? We have to practice so much and so much to get liberation. How you can say that Namabhas is, you can get liberation just like that. He was very upset, like this. Oh yeah, it was Haridas Thakur, not Raghunath Das Goswami. It was in the assembly of Raghunath Das Goswami, but it was Haridas Thakur. Thank you. It was Haridas Thakur who was glorifying the holy name. Yeah, and what's his name? Chakravarti, something, Gopal Chakravarti. And he was so offensive that he said, if what you're saying is true, may my nose fall off. And if what I'm saying is true, may your nose fall off. And everyone was so upset. And I think it was Yadunandanacharya who said, if you don't, you have to this person has to be kicked out of here. You can't let Haridas Thakur be offended like this. So they threw him out of the assembly and out of the work that he was doing for them, Raghunath Das Goswami's family. And in a few days, he contracted leprosy and his nose fell off. In fact, his whole body just became infected with leprosy. He could not handle the glories of the holy name, you see? We have to be very careful, Very, very careful who we associate with and what kind of moods we have by that association. Yes, this particular offense is called arta vad. Arta is treasure. What is vad?
It's artava is like an exaggeration of the meaning.
Oh.
Arta can also be like a meaning.
Oh, meaning. Okay, it means exaggeration of the meaning.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have to be very careful and keep very good association so we don't think that the glories of the holy name are an exaggeration and that the scriptures and the sages are just doing it so everyone will want to chant. It's very close to the sixth offense, which is to think that the glories of the holy name are are imaginary. That they're just imagined. This is the other one. They think, persons who make this offense, they think that the great sages in the scriptures are just saying these things for their own, some motivation. That they're personally motivated, and by saying these glories, they'll get some name and fame or something. And they think that these great sages, they have just concocted the names Krishna, Ram. Really. And the thing is, we can think, oh, how could anyone think like that? But there's unlimited persons in this material world. And we don't associate. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentions in Srila Gurudev in his commentary, mentions that like you have the Mayavadis, they think that it's the absolute truth is just Supreme Brahm, right? And Brahm has no form, no qualities, and no name. So, and there's a lot of Mayavadis in the world. And impersonalism is actually spreading all over the world. So most persons, even in Christianity, you have the word God, but you have no personal name. No personal name. Impersonalism is really penetrating the world today. And you have many followers of materialistic karma kand. Also, they don't really have personal name for God. They think no name, like this. And these kind of persons are very, very unfortunate. They just think that that it's being concocted for some personal motivation. And these offenders, either those who think that the holy name is imagination, or that it's exaggerated, unless they can actually somehow humbly take the association of high-class sadhus who are devoted to chanting, who love chanting, they will never be able to overcome this offense. And if they are able to have this association, able to get purified by the association, they should then take shelter of the holy name and chant continually with remorse, feeling very remorseful that they've ever thought this or said it to others. You see? And then gradually, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, this offense will be dissipated gradually. And the thing is, we should all stop and think, what's really in our hearts? We have a little bit of this tendency, many of us, because many of us were raised very atheistically. So we know the truth intellectually, but to actually feel it and realize it. You see, why is it that when we're chanting the holy name, we're not weeping? We're not feeling great joy. Why is it that sometimes we don't even want to chant? Offenses to the holy name. And a little bit of it may be that we actually don't really realize what the holy name is. Not that we consciously think that it's an exaggeration or it's imaginative, but this is a kind of atmosphere we were raised in. And so we have neglect of the holy name due to these kind of impressions from the past and maybe past lives too. We're not crying. I'm not crying when I chant the holy name. Tears are not flooding from my eyes when I'm chanting the holy name. If we really had taste for the holy name, we would never, ever speak prajalpa. We would have no interest, zero interest. Just by us speaking prajalpa, mundane talk, means do we really, really understand the glories of the holy name? No. You see? You think about it. Where is the holy name? Not just the form, but the holy name itself. Where does it come from? Yes, but also think of this. Srimati Radhika, what is she doing? Krishna, 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 and she's weeping. One time she was a little separated from Krishna. He hadn't left Vrindavan or anything, but she was thinking of him in Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And she was just completely absorbed within. And Krishna himself came. Krishna came, Radhe, Radhe, touch it. She was so absorbed in Krishna's name that she couldn't experience his touch or his calling her. And when Krishna saw this, he said, oh, what nectar must be in my name? I want to experience that. So this is also one reason why he came as Gaur Hari. Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharti Maharaj gave this Hari Katha once. Beautiful, huh? Now what to speak of Krishna? Sometimes, what is he? Radhe, 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 Radhe. So absorbed. This is the origin of the holy name, coming from Radha and Krishna themselves. And there's another pastime. I'm not quite sure I could get it quite right. I think it's a Dehakund in Barshana. And somebody came and wanted something from Krishna, and so wanted wealth or something. Krishna said, I'm going to give you Radharani. She's my greatest wealth. And she was a bit unhappy about that. But I might be getting the pastime mixed up. No, maybe, what's the one where you have the scale? Is that this one? Okay, good. And so then finally, they put, I forget why, but they put gold coins on one side, and Radharani puts a leaf. Is it a tulsi leaf with the name? No, I'm getting two stories mixed up. Anyhow, there's a story, something to do with the gopis.
There's one in Dwarka.
Yeah, the queens, the one you want to say.
Oh, the queens of Dwarka. Oh, it's the queens of Dwarka. I forgot. Anyhow, they have a scale, and they put gold coins on this side, and Radharani, I think, puts, or she says to put a tulsi leaf with the name Radha on it, right? Or is it Krishna?
I don't remember fully with it.
I don't remember, but something like this, with the tulsi leaf and the name, and it's much more heavy than, anyhow, I'm sorry, I should have looked that story up, I can't remember, but the point is, the holy name is much more powerful, much more attractive.
I think it was that Krishna came, and that Nara thought like he needed, the queens needed to give away the same as Krishna. And they were putting all the things.
Oh, yeah.
Always the weight would be more, Krishna would be more, so they would put it. And then would come to one point and say like, we don't know what more to put, and they say, oh, that I don't remember. It's like just put the tulsi leaf.
Yeah, it was tulsi leaf.
And then it's like,
yeah. So that was tulsi. There's another one with the name.
And then Krishna's name, yeah. I think
Krishna's name. Yeah.
That is right.
Anyhow, sorry I didn't quite get that story straight. But the point is the name of Krishna is much more valuable and weighty than all the opulence in the entire material universe. You see? And also, the holy name, when it's chanted with prema, it completely controls Krishna and Srimati Radhika. They come. They come. When our praying is finally manifest, the devotee completely controls Radha and Krishna. Just like we see in the story of Govinda Ghosh. He controlled Krishna by his praying, like this. And the holy name, when it's descending from the spiritual world, it is imbued with all that praying. That's what it is. It's Radha and Krishna. I can say that, I haven't realized it. But I have heard this from those who actually have realized this. From Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta, they've realized. And when they give the holy name to us, it actually enters and goes into our heart. And when our anarthas are cleared, that holy name will come and dance on our tongue. And then all of our senses will become inert. This is a famous verse of Rupa Goswami. All the senses will become inert. We will not be able to chant enough. Radha and Krishna will be dancing on our tongue. And eventually, we will enter into Leela with them. And at that time, when we enter into Leela, because we have praying, our spiritual body is manifest, our spiritual body is our mood of prem seva, our bhav of seva, individual, unique. And with that, we will also be chanting Radhe, 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 Krishna, like this. And that will be pure premanam. And in that premanam, everything is there. Everything. There is nothing that isn't there, because Krishna and Radharani are the source of Braja Vrindavan, Vaikunta, Ayodhya, Devi Dham, this material world. Everything is there. If only we could develop our faith in the holy name, Premanam, in chanting, and have enough patience to understand that these glories of the holy name are not an exaggeration, they're not imagination, and it's the goal of our life. We've been given the greatest treasure. Mahaprabhu, Radha and Krishna themselves have descended in this age of Kali to give something that they've never given before in this time, which is praying. And for us, it's that Manjari praying. This is through the holy name. Because what is it that every guru has asked us to do? Please chant the holy name. Please chant. Srila Prabhupada, who brought the holy name, the pure holy name, out of Bharatvarsh to the west, he was willing, he told Srila Narayan Maharaj, I'm willing to let them eat meat. I'm willing to let them do anything over there if they will just chant. Because I know, this is called that faith in the holy name. I know if they chant, they will be cleared. They will automatically give up all their bad habits. All the smoking, the drinking, the illicit sex, the gambling, everything. Automatically, just by chanting. He didn't have to do that, because by his own presence, we gave him up immediately. We gave up these things. Some, at least, not everyone, but some. It wasn't difficult. It was not difficult. And what did he have to do? Just chant Hare Krishna? When Prabhupada first started the Krishna consciousness movement in the West, I joined in 1972, so by the time I joined, it was different. But in the very beginning, practically 24 hours a day, they were Harinam Sankirtan. They had no program, morning program and this and that. No, they were just out on the streets chanting Hare Krishna. They'd come back for prasadam. They'd sleep a little bit. It was always out chanting Hare Krishna everywhere. Harinam. Like this. And then later, it was right before I joined. It might have been in 72 or 71. Then he started his morning program and his evening program. But that was full of Harinam and hearing Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. The pure holy name, descent, and spread all over the world by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, like this. And look at the effect of pure, because other yogis had chanted Hare Krishna before Prabhupada came. It's not that most people hadn't heard because they weren't interested in these yogis. But the Bhagavad Gita had been come. These things were there. But nobody had any interest, really, very few. Like this, maybe some scholars that were studying, Hinduism or Vaishnavism in the university. But someone who had prem, who was a messenger of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, bringing that pure holy name with unlimited power, unlimited beauty, unlimited strength, unlimited truth. The whole world changed, transformed. Even today, transformed. Krishna became a household word in the American society and all over the world too. Krishna. Oh, they're the Hare Krishnas. Those are the Hare Krishnas. And we weren't called devotees. We weren't called Vaishnavas. We're the Hare Krishnas. Why? Because we chant, all we do is chant Hare Krishna. Right, And everyone's saying Hare Krishna. And the whole world is transforming, isn't it? The power of the holy name. We should never, ever think. This is another one that's big these days. It's always been big, actually. There's nothing new in the material world. People think, it's something new. But no, even in Satya Yuga and everything, like the conspiracy theory, that there's some group, of demons who are controlling everything, and like this, and blah, 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 blah. But really, that's an offense to the holy name, to Srimad Bhagavatam, because these particular demons, they never really quite know who they are. Well, they sometimes know who they are, but the point is that those particular personalities, they're just spirit souls in a body that's going to pass away very quickly. They have actually no power compared to even the demigods. What to speak of the spiritual beings in the spiritual world in Vaikuntha, Ayodhya, what to speak of Brajbasis. They're so tiny, and they're more small than the little insignificant firefly to the sun. They're simply instruments in this play of Kali in Kali Yuga, who's part of Lord Chaitanya's drama, like this. It's Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself who is calling the shots. He's in control. And by his desire, Yogamaya is making everything happen. Durga's dancing to her tune. Everyone's dancing to the tune of Yogamaya to please Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Everybody. There's no one more powerful than Yogamaya. You see? They're just simply instruments. Because this is the way Krishna likes to fight, right? We know the story of Jai and Vijay, how they came to be Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakasipu, Sisupal, and like this, because Krishna likes to fight. But he also likes to fight, but in a different way as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He fights with a weapon of the holy name, with a weapon of his associates, the ignorance, the total ignorance, the avidya of the conditioned souls in Kali Yuga. He's fighting a different way. He's not killing the body, he's killing the demoniac propensity, right? With the holy name. And with that comes, because the holy name being Radha and Krishna, there's all knowledge, right? So then you have what? Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Harikatha coming from his pure devotees, all like that, the sword of knowledge, cutting ignorance, you see? Cutting, the sword of knowledge. And it's going all over the world. I forget how many. ISKCON has the statistics, but there's millions and millions of Bhagavad Gitas have been in every language. They're all over the world. They're time bombs, and people are finding them. just after, like this. I myself personally must have distributed thousands. I mean, I spent 10 years full-time distributing Prabhupada's books day and night to everyone, So they are at this knowledge. And in the books, what do they tell people to do? Please chant Hare Krishna. And then from that, the glories of the holy name are in every shastra. Have a simple life. Chant, dance, and be happy. Take Mahaprasadam. And it is working. It is working. It is doing its job. Not job, it's seva. It's seva. Like this. So we should never think that the holy name, the glories of the holy name, as told by the sages and the sadhus and in the scriptures, are an exaggeration. They, like Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, they don't even touch a drop of the glories of the holy name. And it's imagination. No. And we should be very eager to chant Hare Krishna, even if we have no taste. Because we should believe in the words of our Guru and the Vaishnavas and the Shastras. We should be very, very eager and force ourselves to chant constantly if we have no taste. If we have a taste, then we're very fortunate. Then we'll want to do it. But even if we don't want to do it, we should just take a look around us. If you don't chant the holy name, what is your option? Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, so-and-so, and this and that, and Russia and Ukraine, and that's going to make you feel really good. It's going to liberate you at the time of death, right? Fools, rascals, that's what they, mudha. That's what, mudhas. We're fools, what are they, donkeys, asses, that's those of us in Kali Yuga, the conditioned souls. So we should take a look around with reality, with eyes of reality. How many persons who are not chanting the holy name are happy? No. Even those with, so much money, they're so afraid of death. They can't take it with them. And usually they're really afraid because someone might come and kill them to get it, And really when you get, you have so much money and then you finally get your penthouse that you loved, and then you get your own airplane, and then you get this, and then finally you die in your airplane because it crashes or something, and it's like, and you want that beautiful girl, but she runs off with somebody else that's really poor because he's there is no happiness. No happiness. So we are extremely foolish if we don't take to the chanting of the holy name. Extremely unfortunate. Unfortunate, and means usually in this day and age we're going to go to hell. Not forever, fortunately. When our karma is done, then you get another chance to come back into the cycle. But you don't know when you're going to get another human birth again. It's very rare. And only in the human form, usually, you get the chance to take to spiritual life, to chanting the holy name. Sometimes in Swarga you might meet somebody. Sometimes as an animal you might get some mercy. But it's the holy name is given especially for human beings. And we shouldn't think we're going to live in this body forever. We're not. It's going to pass away. So if we don't chant the holy name in this day and age, in this body, we're extremely, extremely unfortunate and foolish. And this is the time for, if we have no taste, it's Vaidhi Bhakti. When I joined the ISKCON movement in 1972, I'd been a hippie. I kind of liked chanting, but whatever. But Prabhupada, he told us, he forced us. We had a program. And before that, it was just the holy name all day long as Harinam. When I joined, we got up, we went to Mangalartik. We chanted our rounds, 16 rounds in 2 hours in the temple room with Tulsi Devi. Then we had Guru Puja. Then we had class, Bhagavatam class. Then we went out and whatever seva we were supposed to do. I was a book distributor. And then we came back, this is at first, we came back, but later we didn't come. We came back for noon artik and prasadam. Then we went out on Harinam in the afternoon, downtown Los Angeles. Came back for Tulsi Puja again, Artik, Bhagavad Gita class, Krishna book class, a little Mahaprasadam. At 10 o'clock we fell in bed. We were so tired. Then we got up at 4 o'clock and we did it. And we by doing that day after day after day, you get a taste. You get such a taste. And now when I don't want to not have a day without Mangalartik. Mangalartik makes your day auspicious. And it's a chanting of the holy names. So this is a time for Vaidhi Bhakti until we get the higher taste. And that's at the stage of Ruchi. Even at Nishta, we have to use our spiritual intelligence to control our senses. And if we're lucky, we're in sadhu sangha with bhajana kriya and arjuna vritti. So we have to use our intelligence, which means the words of the Guru, we make them our life and soul, and we force ourselves to follow them. Because we know that he loves us and he wants us to be happy, eternally happy. And he knows that we're miserable because we're materially attached. And we think the body, blah, blah, blah. We all know the philosophy, you know? So now is the time, unless one has the higher taste, some may, at least Ruchi, then a Shakti, Bhav, then the tears usually come more. What to speak of prem, you know? So let's take the chanting of the holy name very seriously, very seriously. And not only chant ourselves, and chant with quality, not just a number, that's good, but better is even with quality, with affection, and remembering, like this. And also, Mahaprabhu says, please give to others, Jiva Doi. Harinam, Jiva Doi. Please give to others. Please encourage others. Okay, keep your life, but just add Krishna. Just chant a little bit. Keep eating meat, whatever, but just add Hare Krishna. Please, please, please. That goes even in India. There's so many Indians that are not chanting Hare Krishna that have become very much impersonalist, very much atheistic. So it's our duty, not just duty, it's our well-being. If we really care about ourselves, what to speak of care about others? We will chant and we will encourage others to chant. Okay, unless someone has a question or a comment, we will stop there. Any question or comment? No. Next week I'll try and find out what that story was about the balance so I can tell it properly.
Why Krishna wanted to give away Srimati Radharani?
No, but I'm mixing 3 or 4 stories. That's the problem. I mixed off too many.
Surprising you wanted to give her away.
Well, no, that's the Dehakun one, but there's another. I have to go separate all the stories out and give them all what the point is of each one. I don't have the best of memories anymore.
Lord Govinda Maharaj, he was saying, always crying in the heart.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we should be crying in the heart at least. Then one day these tears will come out, real tears, not cry. Because some people easily can cry. Easily they can cry, but they're material tears. There's difference. And the many sahajiyas, they can cry, roll on the floor, and they're trying to convince you they're involved, but they're not.
I heard that there are hot tears and cold tears.
Yeah, but that has to do with the happiness and distress.
Yeah. Ecstasy tears.
Yeah, well, yeah, it has to do with happiness and distress. Yeah, yeah, but the point is that Harinam, Harinam, eva kevala, kalo anasteva, 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 gatir, anyata. Jai Shri Harinam Prabhu ki jai ho.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. I remember one other story about, I don't know if it's a Hare Krishna mantra, but it's some form of the holy name. There was one great devotee, Rasikananda Prabhu, and he was preaching, and there was a lot of persons who were his enemies, because he was, at the time of Narottam Das Thakur, he was a disciple of Shyamananda Prabhu, and so he had a lot of enemies. And and these enemies, they had this, they got this huge elephant, wild elephant, and they sent the elephant to attack Rasikananda and would have killed him. You know, this huge, wild, mad elephant. And usually the pure devotees don't do things like that. But what did he do? He took some water and he said mantra. And I don't know which mantra, but holy name in some form. And he threw it at the elephant. The elephant became completely subdued, became a devotee, and came over and paid its obeisances to Rasikananda Prabhu. The power of mantra, the holy name. You see? There's unlimited stories like this. You see? Unlimited stories. Okay, Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Radhika Raman Radhika Krishna Banma Giriju Ki Jai Ho. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you all. Vancha Kalpajubisa, Kripa Sindhu Vivita, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. Jai. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur ki jai ho.